Hi, I'm Michael Senoff, founder and CEO of HardToFindSeminars.com. For the last 5 years, I've interviewed the world's best business and marketing minds. Now my challenge is to build the world's largest free resource for online, downloadable audio business interviews. I've learned a lot in the last 5 years, and today I'm going to show you the skills you need to survive.
Most people are focused on the today. Most people aren't long-term thinkers, and they aren't able to map out how the future is going to unfold and how they'd like it to unfold. The marketers that do kind of map it out and plan things out and make some odds based on testing in the past. The marketers that do all that, the testing and create their own map of the future, they're the ones that excel.
Get into it. Now, you told me you've made a couple $1 million, sold a couple $1 million worth of stuff, and you've done it all through the internet?
I made all my money. I paid cash for my first house. I've paid cash for 2 cars. So I'm one of the guys that, you hear these guys talking about all the stuff that they bought in their spam mails. And I'm one of the guys that actually proves it with bank statements if necessary in my account. I tell people that I deal with, prospects and customers, I truly am living that internet dream.
Where are you located?
I'm in Redding, California.
And how old are you?
32 now.
32. Are you married?
Yep.
You have kids?
I just got married about 2 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you don't have kids yet?
Actually, we kind of put the cart before the horse.
You got one coming?
Yeah, well, we had one actually beforehand. We decided to try before we bought in marriage. So, yeah, a little bit 2000, but it works.
Yeah, how old is your child?
10 months.
10 months? Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
You got a little boy?
A little girl.
Little girl, okay.
Yeah.
Well, my youngest one is 15 months now.
Oh, actually, yeah, I read and I heard a little bit of your story.
Tell me, how did you get started in all this? What were you doing before the internet? You're 32. How long have you been doing the internet stuff?
I really dug in deep in early 96, late 95.
How did this whole thing start? How did you get involved with the internet?
One of the first things when I first plugged in my computer, my first experiences was getting spammed right away. My email box, an AOL box I think it was, and it was someone selling information on how to make money using your computer and part-time and all that, and I just right away dug into that, and they wrote a piece of compelling sales material, and I just was fascinated with the whole concept, and I could see what their angle and what they were getting at.
Do you remember who it was?
No, I don't remember the exact name. I mean, I've literally purchased more than 100 or maybe into the area of 200 different money-making systems, courses, programs, whatever, you name it. So I can't remember the exact name of it. But it was inspiring enough to make me see how easily I could duplicate that and create. It was basically just a person doing the classic deal where they tell you about this great business, hype it all up with some really good sizzle, and then pretty much tell you to do the same thing. Hey, sell other people how easy it is to sell information into like a niche product or a niche market. I pretty much just started doing that. I started finding little niche markets and creating little niche products and moving them out. Mostly my favorite niches, though, has always been the business opportunity seekers because I'm one of them, so I know what they like and I can relate to them.
When you first started with it, did you have a job at the time?
I was kind of rebelling. I couldn't handle having a boss. That's one of my weaknesses that I say in life is that I just can't take orders and I can't handle being bossed around or having a boss. At that time when I was first getting started back in whatever, late 95, early 96, I was pretty much just, I'd get a job and then I'd just quit it, walk off and usually go home and think around on the computer and just struggle and say somehow I'm going to make my money on this computer.
What's the longest job you ever had?
I'd say the longest would be probably a year for Circuit City selling computers.
So you've had an interest in computers for a while?
Yeah. Actually, it's kind of funny. Back then, I actually didn't know much about them when I was selling them. I was really good at selling them just because I understand some principles of sales, but my real interest in computers kicked on once I bought my first computer after that Circuit City job.
Did you buy into other biz op stuff when you were a kid, like younger, 13, 14, 15, offline business opportunity stuff?
I don't think that young, but I was doing stuff that was, I think anyone looking back at my life would say they saw it coming, what I'd be doing today. Because I used to do little crazy things like, those little x-ray glasses and all those little novelty things they had in the back of, like, Boys Life magazine. Well, I used to be obsessed with the fact that these guys are advertising, and I'm just kind of realizing right now at this moment how kind of weird it is looking back and interesting that I was so fascinated on these companies and who these guys were and where they even worked out of. I used to think of it, and I loved ordering their little products, these little gadgets and these magic tricks and the soap that turned black or whatever it was, the hearing ink, or the x-ray glasses, and I was just so into that stuff as a kid, and I figured every kid had to be into this stuff, and I just thought, these guys are the greatest guys in the world, they're my heroes. And they'd have catalogs, and I used to order those catalogs from these companies, and then one of the things I would do that probably, like I said, would show that I might be headed in this direction was I would block out prices in the catalogs, and I would Xerox them and have my own prices over those. And so I would make orders at school, and I would pass those little catalogs around, and other kids would get all excited, and be, oh, I want one of those, you know? And I had the company address and everything blocked off.
That's awesome.
Isn't that funny? I just remembered that right now, too. I haven't thought about that since you just asked, you know, about stuff as a kid. And it's true. There was something telling me. Anyway, I would have all these kids say, I want that, and they would ask me even, and I feel kind of bad because it was actually kind of a greedy thing to do in a way, but it's just business, though, really.
That's right.
They would want to know, you know, who is this company or whatever, and I'd say, you know, you got to go through me.
That's great.
Like Mini Trump, I guess. I don't know. I said, you got to deal with me for this. And probably some kids would go off and maybe just say, I remember seeing some of that in Boy's Life or whatever. But a lot of people go with the flow and just say, there's, you know, I'll take an order. And so I'd collect all these orders, and I had little order forms I made up and things, and I would kind of be like the Avon person in the little kid world.
Really? Do you remember how long you did that for?
Oh, it wasn't long. It was just a little, I think, a little thing I thought was kind of cutesy to do to see if it would work. I don't think I was even trying to make money back then. It was more just I wanted to appear like an adult, you know, like I was doing something adult. I would say I probably didn't do that for more than a month or something. I mean, it was a quick little thing I did a few times. I think, honestly, what happened is I got in trouble. The teachers obviously don't like you marketing products in their classrooms.
Right. I'm sure it had an impact on you to see that, God, this was easy. All I did was, you know, take a catalog, copy it, block off where it came from and the prices, put my own pricing, and that was just like easy money. It probably gave you the bug.
Yeah, it probably did. You know, like I said, I started working for these other jobs later on in life. I attended a few Zig Ziglar seminars and things, and I would hear this saying, you know, over and over, you know, that when you're working for someone else, you're working for someone else's dream in life. I kind of always had that in the back of my mind that at any job I was at, I was always picturing who is the guy collecting all the money, who's the top dog that is in the best position here, who's making the most money. And I just always thought, I am working for his dreams. I'm making his dreams come true. His or her, let's be politically correct here. I had this really desperate desire to cut out the middleman and to not work for someone else's dream. And so that's why I think I started buying Entrepreneur magazine and just really studying what it is these guys have in common that do make it happen for themselves. And
right. Okay, when you first started getting all the spam, when you first got your computer and you were getting all these, you said, well, you started doing what they were doing and selling stuff to little niches. Be specific. Give me one or two different things that you did when you first started making money online.
The first thing I ever wrote was a little guide. I don't even remember exactly what I called it, but it was just basically taught you how to write. I just thought it was so fascinating, the fact that you could sell paper and ink. The fact that there was the same thing you might throw in your trash that was 10 pages long of a sales letter that you might get in the mail as trash. If it's done wrong, it just gets tossed in the garbage can. But yet, I'd seen where I had purchased courses from people or money-making systems where that same 10 pages just had different ink on it, where I was paying $14.95 or $19.95 for that 10 pages of paper and ink.
Hi, it's Michael Senoff with HardToFindSeminars.com. Thanks for watching this video. You know, many of my interviews last 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, sometimes even up to 2.5 hours long. They're actual mini seminars, and you've just listened to a short sample of just one of over 117 hours of exciting, hard-hitting, mind-blowing interviews on how to make money in direct mail, advertising, copywriting. I assure you, there is not a resource anywhere anywhere on the internet or on the planet that comes close to the free information I provide at hardtofindseminars.com. So go right now to hardtofindseminars.com and you'll have free access to 117 hours of audio interviews with typed word-for-word downloadable transcripts and downloadable MP3 files. Please browse some more of the videos or go right directly to hardtofindseminars.com. Thanks for watching.